Okay, it's probably not the third time I've done this. The first time, absolutely forgetting to speed up the video. The second time, not turning my microphone on, probably. All right, so we're going in here. We have an Ephialtes Scylla room. So I usually prefer to take out the neuts and webs on this first. Typically, the neuts are my priority. Make sure you get that null charge as well, the Scylla, because otherwise you might find yourself running out of cap on an alt. Sometimes you'll miss it. Sometimes you won't really realize that it's happening. It can be a little hard, especially when you're starting off, to get used to everything being in here. The channel I just closed is the Abyssal Lurkers. I'm going to give them a little bit of a plug. They're fantastic. If you need a little bit of help with something, they're more than happy to usually lend a little bit of advice. They're very helpful. If you say anything about worms in there, I will yell at you, and I'm sorry for it, but I'm also not sorry for it. I really hate worms in these spots. So yeah, take out the neuts first, then the webs. This is generally a fairly easy room. You can fly into the blue cloud later. It doesn't matter so much. Try to stay away from it at the start, because this can be a fair bit of damage. It might need you to overheat, or you might need to pop your ADC like I did there. If you pop your ADC fairly close to the start of the room, that's not such a bad thing, for the simple fact that it'll absolutely be ready for the next room, and that's the main thing that matters. So, once the enemy switch targets, tanks should not really be an issue, and it very quickly becomes a quick mop-up in here. These guys are not particularly tough for the Hawks. Use cap boosters as needed. I try to avoid using them sometimes to just maintain my stock so I can do 3-4 runs in a row, which I managed to do this time. However, if you have an orca outside or something with a decent cargo hold or whatever, you can absolutely just bring along some cap boosters and feed them and put them in as necessary. One thing I did on this run, I had a couple 2 and 3% Halcyon boosters, so I used those, because there's no point in leaving them in the redeem and never using them. So every little bit helps. If you want to use the bigger ones, you can use the bigger ones. You want to use the smaller ones, use the smaller ones. I opted for a smaller one because then that way I could either ditch it if I needed to, or I could save the other ones for when I have more time to run concurrently. So yeah, this room is a pretty easy room, no huge issues on that, and it went quite well. So again, always make sure that you're heading towards the exit gate, towards the end of the room. That way you are going into the next room and you are not wasting time transiting. You'll find, especially with these fits where I'm not using the faction BCUs on them right now, they can get a little close on time, and it can get a little sketchy sometimes. Get that reload in, next room.